Hi fam. So there's this big speech, really big, that Ruto has been making. And this is the promise where by 2055, he's gonna turn Kenya into a first world country. It's a good dream. Sounds inspiring. And it's kind of like he has been reciting it on every public podium that he gets, every political rally that he goes, and he's really convincing us that he can change Kenya into a first world countries. And we do not want to oppose this or think maybe it's big of a dream, because it's doable. I mean, other countries did it. Like, he's giving us examples of China, Japan, Singapore. They did it, so why not we? But now, my question is, my critique is, are we going to use the same blueprint that these countries used? Are we going to follow the same roadmap that these countries used to become first world, or we are going to use something else, something different? Because if we are giving them as an example, then we must use similar, if it's not the same, similar blueprint that they used for the success that they have today. Right? Now, let's unpack this thoughtfully without turning it into a political rant. Let's look at it on a realistic cultural and economic lens rather than being emotional about it.
Wakati tulisema tutajenga manyumba, walisema haiwezekani. Walisema wakati tulisema tutakuwa universal health coverage, walisema haiwezekani. We have the knowledge, we have the plan, we have the people, and we have the resources to move this country from a third world country to a first world country in our lifetime by 2055. We've engaged many, including Gideon Moi recently, on how we are going to move this country from a third world country to a first world country. And I will continue to engage all the leaders until we come together. It's going to take us the same time Korea did, Singapore did, China did. In just 30 years, they managed to move their countries from third world to first world.
Hata saa hizi hamuwezi kuamini ya kwamba we can move our country from a third world country to a first world country. But we are going to shock you. We are going to surprise you, because Kenya, in our lifetime, is going to move from a third world country to a first world country, because we have the plan, we have the vision, and we have the resources to do it.
Come on, guys. We cannot be average thinkers. Even though the president called us
shida, friends, shida tuko naye Kenya ni average thinking, ordinary, usual. Unless we up our game, unless we up our ambition, unless we think about the extraordinary.
Let's not be average thinkers, even though we are being led by an average PhD holder. Let's be realistic. These countries were never built, their success was never built by these nice speeches of going into every political rally, talking about how they're gonna make Singapore or China into a first world country. They did it. They started doing it. And if you look at the three examples, how they rose to first world countries, they have some things in common. That is execution, discipline, implementation culture that went beyond politics. Does Kenya has the potential? Yes. The human capital, the resources, the talent, the location of our country. But even though we have the potential, it means nothing if we lack implementation culture, if we lack integrity, if we lack good governance, if we lack accountability, if corruption is the norm of the day. But if we invested in integrity, good education system, innovation, and we try to eliminate corruption, just like the way Singapore invested in good governance, they invested in infrastructure, then we could leapfrog faster than we actually think. But you know what? Kenya got this vibrant and youthful population that can actually bring about the creativities, help Mr. President to steady forward all these ideologies. You understand that? But now the problem is, the big problem is how much corruption and impunity is normalized, to a point that allocations of budgets that are supposed to bring about development, they actually strategized. They are budgeted corruption. They are strategized so that they can fill people's pockets. And money that is set for development and creative and innovation basically finds their way into people's pocket, making few individuals rich. So it's very, very difficult for us to realize these dreams. And then you look again at the brain drain. This is where we are getting our best minds, sending them abroad to go and help other countries build their own countries. So, is it possible to make Kenya a first world country? Yes, but in theory, not under this culture of mediocrity. It's not going to happen. It's just a dream.